I gesture down the row of Mercury homes, and she joins me in a slow walk. There are armed guards posted every 2 blocks. Their fingers aren't on the triggers of their guns, but it sure feels that way. How do you know where our trailer is? I ask. There's a directory in the media unit of the trailer, Aisha says, then widens her eyes in mock horror. You mean you haven't gone through the regulations file yet? I smirk. I was saving the regs file for pre-bedtime viewing. I hear it's riveting. Total clickbait. Are we allowed to walk anywhere in the camp? I guess. Just don't walk into the fences or you'll be shocked. They're electrified. I smirk. I'm just going to put this out there to be transparent. I can't have a friendship based solely on puns. What about witty barbs? And the occasional bon mot, and I'm in. I want to laugh a little, but I don't have a laugh to give. Light, easy laughter feels lost, like a phantom emotion. Still, I'm grateful for even the passing sensation. 2 guards on patrol pass by, turning their heads towards us. Without thinking about it, we both walk in the opposite direction. Do you know there's a camera in the Mercury homes? I don't whisper, not exactly, but seeing the guards everywhere makes me feel on edge, so I speak softly. I mean, how are we supposed to shower? The cameras are only in the common areas, not in the bathrooms or bedrooms, and supposedly they don't record sound. But we probably should assume they actually do. Safer that way. So I guess you didn't really check out the regs, did you? No, I was too busy exploring our internment lodgings and unpacking. Unpacking? You mean the 10 articles of clothing we were allowed to bring? I brought 12. I'm an amazing packer. Rebel, you should totally have your own reality show. Packing for uncertainty. It's a joke. It feels both natural and totally inappropriate to joke. Like this whole conversation, really. Every syllable is awkward and every reaction feels wrong. It doesn't seem like there's any right way to simply be in here. Like we're on a journey with no map, no compass, and no destination. Let's go over there. I think I saw a little garden. Aisha directs me towards a wide main road that divides the camp into halves. On the map we all received, it's called the Midway. A garden? I think it's more like a small outcropping of rocks and shrubs. We walk down the Midway. I'd call it a road, but there are no cars in the camp, at least none that we're allowed to drive. There's a small parking lot to the left of the main entrance, but like everything else, our cars are back home. It's not until I walk down the Midway towards what is essentially the back of the camp, the side that faces the mountains, not the road outside the camp, that I realize how large Mobius is. Yet its size is dwarfed by the vastness of the desert around us. There's no noise. Well, there's noise, but not city noise. No planes overhead that I've seen yet, no sirens, and besides the little kids trying to occupy themselves, there's a lot of eerie silence. Many pairs of eyes that dart about and then are quickly cast downward when guards pass. Tear-stained faces, dusty hems and cuffs. People walking around aimlessly, like Aisha and I are. Searching, looking, wondering if there's a way out. But all we see are guards and guns and a fence whose sole purpose is to keep us locked in here. That or kill us. The back of the camp appears less heavily watched. There are still armed guards walking around and watchtowers, but it's a little quieter. And then there are evenly spaced orange plastic crowd control barriers. You know, the kind you sometimes see along parade routes or at outdoor concerts between the fence and us. Ostensibly, they're there to prevent us from walking right up to the fence and getting electrocuted, but there's space between them to slip by, and they're only hip high. And what about the little kids? I suppose no parent will let their child out of their sight in this place. I pray that none slip away from their parents or think it's a good idea or a good spot for hide and seek. Hopefully the danger electric fence signs that show a lightning bolt zapping through a body and that are posted every 10 feet will keep both kids and adults away. The government, the exclusion authority, built all of this whole camp under the cover of darkness. I wonder what else they've built. What else can they do to us when America isn't looking? We are nearly at the end of the camp. Nothing but the fence and beyond that, the desert. Off to the side is the garden, a bit of an overblown name for it, since it's mostly large, uneven rocks surrounded by pale green shrubs the color of eucalyptus. Here and there are dry stalks of yellow flowers that look almost like mustard plants. If this corner were all you could see of the camp, it would be beautiful. Yellow petals, brown dirt, blue skies. If we weren't prisoners, this place would feel peaceful. If history had no ghosts, I wouldn't be terrified of what comes next. If. But ifs are always loaded, aren't they? Aisha bends low and plucks a small purple flower that's growing from underneath a rough surfaced, arrowhead-shaped rock. She takes the seat and twirls the blossom between her thumb and index finger. I wander over to another boulder and kneel in front of it, brushing some loose dirt from its face. What are you doing? I think there's something carved into the stone, maybe a petroglyph? I break off a twig and scrape at the dust in the outlines. I use my fingernail to flake off some dirt. I'm parched, and it dawns on me that I shouldn't stray far from the trailer without water. I give the outline a final brush with my palm and sit back on the hard ground. Damn it, that doesn't look prehistoric. Aisha kneels next to me and reads over my shoulder. SA plus TJ. I mean, maybe they were like really advanced prehistoric peoples. Or maybe aliens? Aliens who etched little hearts into stone in the middle of the California desert, of course. Occam's razor, go with a hypothesis with the fewest assumptions needed. Vandalizing aliens, it is. I look at Aisha, who cracks a smile, and then lets out a laugh. Then we both start laughing. It's not even really funny, but my sides hurt, and tears roll down my face. Aisha leans back against a rock and belly laughs, then covers her face with her hands and begins sobbing. Her shoulders shake. Neither of us laugh anymore. I don't know exactly what to do. I put my hand on her knee. Hey, it's going to be okay. We'll figure a way out of here. She sniffles and wipes her nose with the back of her hand. A way out? How? The only way out is through an electric fence. I know, I whisper. Don't give up hope. Not yet. It's too soon. Don't worry, Aisha sniffs. I know being scared is a superpower. What? It's something my dad told me once when I was in the district spelling bee. He said that my fear made me more alert, that I could channel my fear into focus. Did you win? Nah, second place. But, I was up against another Desi. He won state. Aisha grins a little. Desi's kill at the spelling bee. And my dad was right. When I'm scared, I always feel like I can fight a little harder. I nod at Aisha and smile. I stand and reach out a hand to help her up. As we're dusting off our clothes, I notice a small depression past the orange barriers at the fence line. I squint. It looks like something has burrowed underneath. A small animal, maybe? Or... We hear a shout, then more shouting. We step away from the garden and see a young man yelling at a guard. His friends are holding him back. We move closer to hear. The other two guards rush over. You Islamophobic a-hole, the young man yells. We were in middle school together. What the hell is wrong with you? He's our age, maybe a little older, tall and wiry. Two friends pull at his arms. One is speaking to him, too low for us to hear. Back off, Sahil, the guard barks. I could have you taken away. Trust me, you would not want that. He motions to the other guards to keep their guns away, moving his palms down like he's pressing the air. My chest tightens. The guards could do anything to Sahil in here. And who could we turn to? There's no police for us to call, no one to protect us. We should do something. They could hurt him. I start walking closer, but Aisha grabs my arm and pulls me back, shaking her head. Don't be stupid, she says. They have guns. I want to bark at her, but I look into her wide, terrified eyes and I take a breath. She's right. I glance down at my hands. They're trembling. I curl the right one into a fist and pound it against my thigh. I grit my teeth and nod at her. Sahil puts his hands up, shaking his friends off him, and retreats a few steps. I can only glimpse part of the guard's face, but I see his shoulders relax. It's going to be fine, Sahil. Chill. Everyone is doing their jobs here. You need to do yours. And what the hell is my job? Sahil asks, and then spits on the ground in front of his feet. To do what you're told, the guard says, then joins the other guards to help them disperse the small crowd that is gathered. Sahil shakes his head and walks away, towards the garden, towards us. Every moment in the short time we've been behind this fence has been a revelation. And in this moment, I realized that Sahil was lucky that the guard did nothing but brush him off. Are you okay? Aisha asks as Sahil nears. He looks up, startled. Clearly he hadn't noticed us. Sahil lets out a noise somewhere between a harumph and a loud exhale. He looks over his shoulder. Neither of the guards nor the small crowds are there anymore. No one wants to linger. I'm fine. He pauses. Actually, no, I'm not fine. Not at all. This is some next level fascist crap. Aisha and I simply nod. I kick a small stone and we all watch it skitter away. We stare like it's the most riveting thing in the world, which, in the absence of our phones, is basically true. Then we look at one another. I'm Sahil, he says, breaking the silence. Sahil Saeed, he adds rather formally. We heard, I say. I'm Layla. Aisha. Aisha grins at him. He smiles back, and it seems to release the tension he was holding in his shoulders. My Taita would know the perfect ancient Egyptian curse to put on those a-holes. Like the curse of King Tut? Aisha asks. Sahil chuckles a little. He wasn't the only pharaoh, you know. My grandmother, didn't really believe in curses, but I loved hearing about them, and about all the coincidental deaths that surrounded excavations. Taita was an archaeologist and a storyteller, and believe me, ancient curses and mummies made the best ghost stories. Share, I urge. One of the curses, at least. Sahil runs his hand through his wavy dark hair. His light brown eyes look off into the distance, then snap back to us. The curse inscribed on a statue of a high priest of Amun says any transgressor will die from hunger and thirst. That's a little on the nose for the desert, don't you think? Aisha says. He gives her a little side-eye grin. How about he shall be cooked together with the condemned? Succinct, I say. I think I like that one. May our enemies be cooked with the condemned. Yeah, well, we're the ones most likely to die from hunger and thirst, not the guards or any of these fascist bureaucrats in the hub. And definitely not the president, Sahil says. Do you think they're going to starve us? Aisha asks. This is a prison camp. Haven't you seen pictures of the concentration camps in World War II? Sahil asks. I see Aisha take a step back, like she's been hit in the chest. Then it occurs to me that she probably hasn't imagined anything worse than this. Probably a lot of people haven't. Everyone is scared in a deep way, like in our bones. And maybe thinking of what more they might do to us is too much to bear. This isn't a concentration camp, I say. Part of me feels like I need to shield Aisha because she's not ready to consider the nightmare scenarios. And it's not going to help anyone if you talk that way. It's too scary. Good. I want to scare people. You should be scared. Then maybe people will rise up and do something. I get it. Some fear is good, but not if it makes you draw so much into yourself that you're petrified. That's no good for anyone. Take a look around. Don't be stupid. Sahil's jaw tightens. He looks like he's about to say something, but stops himself. Then he glances at Aisha, and his face softens. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to freak you out. It's okay. We're all on edge. Where's your block? I ask, trying to ease the tension. Sahil points across the Midway. I'm on block 6 with a hodgepodge of other Arab Americans. It's only when Sahil phrases it that way that I realize we've been segregated by ethnic group. Aisha realizes it too. Damn, our whole block is Desi, Aisha says, then looks at me. I don't suppose it's a coincidence that they separated us. Sahil rubs the back of his neck and grimaces. I don't think the authority leaves anything to coincidence. Divide and conquer, I say. But I don't think either Sahil or Aisha hears me. They're looking at each other with awkward half-smiles. Oh my God, Aisha says, glancing at her watch. We're going to be late for orientation. My mom is gonna freak. I'll catch up with you guys later after we've been properly oriented or whatever the hell they want to tell us about this place, Sahil says. Aisha and I turn and walk towards our block as Sahil heads to his, which with each step another muscle in my body tenses. Aisha clutches her stomach. I see others walking back to their trailers, many already making their way to the hub in small family groups. And it's so quiet. Too quiet. We're all different people, but each of us, to a person, has the same look. Abject fear. As we near our trailers, I turn to look back towards the mountains, the stunning granite peaks off in the distance. They're beautiful and stark against the sky, and I imagine how stunning the moonrise will be if we can see it this evening, a silver crescent hanging above the summit. But then I look again, and I see only fences and razor wire and guns. I shiver as a desert chill sweeps through me. And that's the end of Chapter 6. See you tomorrow for Chapter 7.